Greetings everyone and welcome to a new first taste of the channel, where today we're going to be checking out Overbrew, the latest offering from Barribob, a developer of incremental games of some significant talent. They are the developer of Magic Archery and Tower Wizard, titles I'm sure many of you who move in the incremental circles will be familiar with, but also Slamwall, a personal favorite of mine. This game is billed as concoct the most powerful witch's brew, build ingredient productions and synergies in this strategy incremental prototype. And right from the get-go, you can kind of get the sort of minimalist lo-fi vibe of this game. And my lord, there are just days when I need this kind of thing to just be pumped into my veins. By the way, I will also shout out the audio in the background. In the credits, the Campfire and Melodic Haze are the titles of the tracks, and you can probably find those by Audiovision via Pixabay. This is a prototype though, this is not on Steam, unlike Magic Archery and Tower Wizard, so if you would like to play this yourself, you can check it out for free over on itch.io. Of course, there will be links down in the video description below, but with all of that said and done, let's just dive into the game. So, the Witch's Brew has the power to rebuild and upgrade. Okay. Hover over the brew and restore the first building. The first one has no requirements. Actually, let me just make sure the sound effects are a little bit lower because that sounded a bit harsh. Okay. The salt mine. Oh, is this Twitch? Salt mines produce salt. When salt is added to the brew, it will produce 3 substance. Very well. That sounds still quite loud. Let's pull that down a little bit there. Each building will contribute to the brew in some way. Salt mine will produce substance. Very well. You can now navigate to move your view. Click and drag. Very nice. You can zoom in, zoom out. That is also very nice indeed. And with that, I guess we are now down to the upgrading. Let me just turn my headset back on because it just turned off. There we go. Technology. This is one of those days apparently where I just need to have some lo-fi pumped into my veins. Morel farm. I always struggle to know how to pronounce it. Morel. We'll go with morel. Morel mushrooms provide 3 elixir when added to the brew. This costs 12 substance. Well, we can get that. The next one is the rice farm. Okay, rice farm to produce rice. When rice is added to the brew, it will produce 3 elixir as well, but it costs 10 times what we currently have. Good job on building the morel farm. The morel farm will provide elixir to the brew. Elixir fills up the bar at the top. Once full, it provides an elixir potion. These are used to upgrade your buildings. So that's right there. Okay. Stats, this is elemental, the type of building. Many upgrades only work on one type of building. Cooldown is every 6 seconds. Type biological, cooldown 6 seconds. The average time it takes for a single unit or floor of the building to produce an ingredient. The type of building, many upgrades only work, blah, 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 on the same buildings. All right. Well, we've got one. We need to get up to 120. So I'm thinking we want to build another salt mine. There we go. Marvelous. All right, so now, okay, that hasn't halved, but I guess we're getting 2 independent. That's probably what it meant when it said the time for a single unit or floor of a building to do something. Okay, well, that's fine. We're now bringing that in a little bit faster, and we're almost at the point where we can get another upgrade as well, and it doesn't cost any more. Interesting. But I think I'm going to even this out, since I'm noticing that number is going up. The brew level fills based on the amount of elixir gained from the brew. When full, gain 1 elixir potion, and that number increases. So let's go ahead and increase our ability to generate elixir. I feel that, as with many incremental games, you don't really want to just sit on one particular, well, I guess ingredient farm, whatever ingredients form ingredients might take in any particular game. You don't really want them to lag behind. You don't necessarily want to level them up perfectly evenly, as quite often synergies will favor specific combinations over another, but you don't really want to just let one sit. But at this point, since we very much want more substance, let's go for the elixir on the salt mines. There we go. We've now got 3 levels of salt mine, each adding 3 substance. Wow, if I keep going, I might drain Twitch of all of its viewers. That would be terrible. For me. Right, let's go ahead and get a rice farm on the go. I was expecting something a little bit different, but I do love all of these different looking, I guess, ruins that we're renovating. Oh, this one's got something else. More rice farms or starchy rice. Rice will apply 0.1 starchy rice to the brew, or rather, starchy to the brew. Increases the amount of substance produced by ingredients by 1 per stack. Well, yes, absolutely. I might even do a second one. Oh, there we go. Certain buildings can apply effects to the brew. Effects will appear right below the elixir bar. Effects abilities will become stronger the more stacks that are applied. Are we getting partial because it's only a fraction of a stack? Does this just continue to increase? In which case you want to get that kind of stuff really early on, or does it decrease as well? All right, well, we're going to increase the rice farms. Is this added per ingredient or just, you know, is it being added on a different kind of timer to the rice that's being added, which is giving me elixir? Let's have a little bit of a watch. No, that actually went up by 2. That didn't go up at all. Okay, that only went up by 1. That went up by 2. Okay, I would say it's probably per individual harvest of rice. So each floor is contributing a little bit, but I think there may be a bit of decay. We'll see. I want to see that go down before I commit, though. In the meanwhile, let's go ahead and increase the morale. I want to see if this goes down at all. Though maybe I need... Oh, I think we saw it there. I think we saw a tiny little bit of decay. So that would mean that this will eventually... Yeah, no, there is definitely decay. Okay. Well, in that case, then, we do want to further upgrade this. Right, at this point, how much are we getting from you? Does this tell me? Oh, it does. Actually, we've got a calc here. Calculation. Salt mine. Base substance gain is 3, but starchy effect is now added, is updating. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so the final substance gain is 6. All right, well, would it be better for me then to add more starchy and more rice? I guess it depends on how the diminishing returns work. Does it decay faster the higher the stacks, for example? Let's continue to upgrade this because I can effectively get more elixir and more substance by doing that. Either way, we're very close to being able to get an orchard. The orchard will produce 4 substance. Okay, so we're going to get something to go along with the salt mine in terms of producing substance. That being said, as this increases, it isn't straightforward. Just increasing starchy isn't necessarily the right play because that starchy is impacting every harvest of the salt. So it makes sense to upgrade the salt so that I'm getting more benefit out of a single or whatever the total starchy is. So that is decreasing quite rapidly. It looks like we can probably keep it around the mid to high 4s though that got quite low actually. Either way, we have now smashed through our target, so let's get an orchard on the go. 1,500. The ingredient chart, top left button, shows an overview of each building's contribution to the brew. Okay, nice. We like numbers. The orchard's going to have a long way to go before it can compete with the salt mine, but then again, the salt mine has been leveled up 4 times, so, or rather, it is level. I guess level 3. So this is level 0. Ooh, okay, nutrition. This is also giving me calc. Is that I'm getting? No, I'm not getting that for these. I guess because there's nothing affecting them. Right. Now let's have a look. Upgrade orchard and nutrition. The orchard will apply 0.1 nutritious to the brew. Nutritious increases the amount of elixir produced by ingredient. Oh, okay, no, that's absolutely worth it. Let's go ahead and get 2 of those straight away. 2 levels. Will you build both at the same time? You did. Very nice. So this is going to help us. Oh, I'm loving the art style. Really been enjoying the pixel art style coming out of recent games. What lurks below also stood out as a game that I felt had a really good grasp of the pixel art style. Super minimalist, but achieved quite a lot with what it was working with. Okay, the orchard is actually starting to catch up now. That's very nice to see. Very nice to see. 410 substance a minute, 210 elixir a minute. We want to increase that though. We definitely want to increase it if we want to get to the aqueduct. All right, but I imagine these have calc now. Yes, they do. Fantastic. All right. Well, let's continue to balance this out. I think I might try to go for nutrition 3 to make sure that the orchard is topping this off, because again, this is giving me both substance and increasing the amount of elixir I'm getting. So let's put that up to 3 there. I might take it a little bit higher. I'm not entirely certain yet, but we'll see. We definitely don't need to upgrade the salt mines much more, but I think the next one will probably be the orchard. I do realize that I've almost balanced them all, despite me saying that is probably not the best thing to do. Oh well. Let's definitely get the orchard on the go, though. Orchard is doing a good bit of work, though. It is almost overtaking the salt mine, which I suppose does make sense, because it has got a better base, and now that they are equal, orchard should overtake. This one's got a base of 3. This one's got a base of 3. There's really not much difference between these two right now. Not much difference at all, actually. In fact, I would say upgrading the morel farm is not the move, because this one is also giving us starchy. So I think just increase the, get some more rice fields going. Really nice use of color. Like, the only splash of non-black and or white, or a mixture of both, that we've got is the pink from the elixir. I wonder if there'll be any other buildings that do have color. I do quite like it when it's not simply monochromatic, but color is used very sparingly, because it really emphasizes where it's being used then. Right, okay, we can get the aqueduct on the go. Oh, I like that. Oh, wait. Is that literally pouring straight? Oh, of course it is. I mean, it's an aqueduct, but I do like that, that little detail there. All right, more aqueduct. Morale in... Okay, so maybe this is where the morels start popping off. Aqueducts will also provide water to the morel farm, buffing it with 0.1 enrich. Enrich increases resources gained from ingredients by 2 per stack. Okay. But how much do you actually provide me? There's a 5 base gain. And the starchy effect is also affecting this. So sure, let's get 2 in both. Oh, I very much like the artwork there. Again, it's so simple, but it's so pleasing. Certain buildings can buff other buildings. Buffs are similar to effects, but apply only to a specific building. Buffs can be viewed on the Buffs tab of the building being buffed. Ah, okay. Very nice, but I can also see it in the calc here. So yeah, this one is now... Its final input is 3 more. Mind you, I've got an entire building working on it, so it's not exactly like the rice fields are not doing work. And they're adding the starchy effect. So you know, we can't snooze on the rice either. But oh my lord, gotta get the hollows. Hollows will produce 6 substance. It will cost 5,000 substance to build. Okay. Well, talking about starchy, let's maybe get the rice fields up to 5.5. That should give us a good upgrade there. But then probably, I think we'll balance aqueduct and orchards, because the orchards nutrition effect is really useful. We don't want to completely ignore orchard in favor of aqueduct, even if aqueduct does technically bring me more in. Only by a little bit right now, but still. I guess the difference is slight enough that I don't need to worry about it, but we're probably not going to be upgrading salt mines. At least not unless another building upgrades the salt mines, which, given the way that the aqueduct works, is not a foregone conclusion. We're already halfway to our goal, though, so it's quite nice. It's not taking us long between things. I do... As much as incremental games, you know, there's a certain idle element to them. I do like it when, if you're playing it actively, there is something for you to do. It's a very fine balancing. It's a very, very fine balancing line that they have to walk, though, and I do appreciate that. But I enjoy being able to play games like this and never feel like I am simply waiting. Even if, for all intents and purposes, that's exactly what I'm doing. It's just I don't realize it. I appreciate the effort put into the subterfuge. Right, let's go ahead and get a little bit of a bonus to morale and then an extra level for the aqueduct itself. That'll take us up to 4-3. We'll take that up to 4. Then I am going to upgrade nutrition again. Simply because we do need a little bit more of a buff to these. Let's have a look. It's 15 there. Oh, sorry. Still only 7 there on the rice, but that's fine. We're getting 10 substance from the salt mines, 11 to 12 from the orchard, 12 I guess to 13 from the aqueduct. Let's go ahead. We're almost at our goal right now. And can we all appreciate just how enjoyable this background music track is? Oh, there are stars visible in the sky. I hadn't noticed that before. It's actually pretty cool. Right, there we go. Do I want to upgrade that one more time? No, I think I want to take orchards up to 4. There we are. Let's get that nutrition effect. I would like to see that mostly in the 5s, not dipping below. Right, we've got time now to get the hollow up and running. Have you got a little bucket? You have a tiny bucket underneath your witch's broom. That is amazing. All right. So, hollows. Given the substance 6, which is pretty nice. More hollows. Life force. Hollows will apply 0.1 living to the brew, which increases resources gained from all biological ingredients by 15 per stack. Biological, I believe. Obviously not biological. And this one's elemental. Okay, so this is going to buff these 3 in particular. That is huge. Okay, let's get the hollows up and running. What type is the hollow? It's magical. It's not an element. Well, I guess that kind of makes sense. What are you doing? You are shooting magic out of the hollow. Fair enough. I'm not going to question it. Now, 15% per stack. That is almost certainly going to pop off as soon as we actually get a couple of stacks on the go. So I think we're going to upgrade to more hollows first and then start pushing life force up. There we go. And let's have a look at you. Yeah, that 15%. 13 there. That's already taken over. And these were already good anyway. So that's 10. 21 from the morale farm. I'm gonna keep switching the way I say that one. just accept it. I can't stop and I don't know. There we go. Let's get. Oh, I do like the pattern as well. The little trees growing out of this. I guess it's like these are like knots in the wood, in the trunk of the tree. Kind of like the very organic effect of that. Now, what do we need next? 15k. That's asking a lot. I'm not going to lie, but all right. Up to 45% more. That's 16 now. Okay, no, that's getting crazy. We probably still don't want to completely sleep on the aqueduct though, because that really buffs the morale farm, and then that gets further buffed by the living effect. All right, I'm going to pop a 3rd life force, and then we're going to grab a 3rd hollow upgrade. I wonder where that's going to go. Is it going to keep branching out? Going to start doing different patterns? Or is it going to just kind of weave? Let's have a look. I probably, based on this, is going to weave, because that's just a repeating pattern. Yeah, it is. Okay, yeah, it's probably going to have another tree on the top. Okay. All right. All right, we're up to 5,000 now. Not that it's the substance that we particularly need. We need 3 times as much as that, but we are bringing in quite a lot. We're bringing in 2,100 a minute and 1,600 elixir a minute. We want to increase that. I would like more morale enrichment, and then probably bring aqueducts up to level 5, I'm thinking. I think that would actually be quite nice. Up to 60% buff there. 30 elixir. That is bonkers. Very much on board with this. Right, at the present cost of... Oh, that's the level. Okay. At the present cost of leveling up the brew, we could level it up basically twice a minute. Obviously, that's going to change as we add more levels and add more buffs, but overall, that's okay. Ooh, I wonder if this affects the nutrition being... No, it doesn't. I'm certain it doesn't. That would have to look way different. That would already be much, much higher if that was also affecting that. Still, it would have been cool. It would have been a very nice synergy. Bit Escher-esque, really, the way that aqueduct is going up. Right, we are going to pop an extra level on the aqueduct. There we go. Right, I think we're going to hold off there. Now, I think it actually, what we really need to be doing is upgrading the morale farm. I will admit, I forgot that was such a low level while I was upgrading the things that were buffing it. We will get way more bang for buck out of just giving extra levels to the morale farm right now. Sometimes I do derp. I apologize. Let's get that one on the go. We're going to stack that one a fair bit. I don't see too much reason to stack the rice farm right now. I mean, starchy is very much ultimately what we want. We want to get more substance, but getting more and more elixir seems to be the way to get to that goal. Right now, we're sub 2 per minute elixir upgrades, which is a bit of a shame. Now, I wonder what the prestige will be. Right, let's get another level on the morale farm. There we go. We're up to, well, 1.92. Okay, that's not terrible. If we have a look in here, it's 37 per floor, and that's every 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we get one more, then it's going to be every second. And we're almost on that as well. There we go. Let's get that going. Perfect. Right. At this stage, in terms of getting the most out of this, I think upgrading the orchard would be next. That will also upgrade the elixir, which would be very, very nice. But getting the orchard up to get a bit more, because the orchard is definitely king over the others because it's being buffed from multiple sources. The starchy and the life force. There we go. Let's get you. I might take nutrition up to 5 as well, just because I may as well get the added bonus to my elixir production. Oh, well, actually, the elixir production is going quite well, up to 2,700 a minute now. Right, we're almost at the resources we need. We'll allow this one more level. We'll just pop that into nutrition. And by then, I imagine, oh, well, close enough to then, we will be ready to build the altar. The altar grants access to powerful blessings. Very well. Okay, let's get that on the go. Right, where we go? Oh, we're going this way. I was wondering what we would be doing. The altar this is how we prestige. Very well. Which will let you choose blessings to upgrade your next run. Okay. Prestiging will reset all upgrades that cost elixir potions, but not any substance upgrades. Oh, we keep the substance upgrades. Okay. We would get 2 prestige points. Okay, let's have a look at the blessings. Milestone blessings, unlockable blessings. More salt essence. The salt mine gains an upgrade that increases its base substance gain. And blessings below are locked until you have 1 total points. Okay, well, we'll have one in a moment. Multiple resources gained from biological buildings by 2. Multiplies resources gained from elemental buildings by 2. And the morale farm and rice farm will throw 2 times. Oh. I mean, this is really tempting. I guess we have to spend one there and then unlock this. But as is usually the case, I believe in prestiging early and often. When this bar is full, you gain a prestige point. The bar fills based on the amount of substance gained. ETA less than 26 minutes. Yeah, like if it was less than a minute, I'd wait. You know, it might be less than 2 minutes. Sure, I'll wait. 26? No, I like the fact that it's telling me that, though. Okay, let's prestige. Dunk. Goodbye, my buildings. Oh, that one was given to us for free. Oh, well, this is an obvious one then. We're going to increase biologicals and increase the abundance of morale and rice because they will both benefit from this. Okay, next run. Do we keep the buildings? We do keep the buildings. Well, well, well. Biological blessing already in effect. Let's buy starchy. Let's buy nutrition. I then want to buy morale enrichment. they're already getting loads. And then life force, just so that they all start ticking, and then we'll start upgrading. Also, this one's got a new upgrade, doesn't it? Increase the base substance gain from the salt mines by 6. That's rather huge. Oh, okay. The salt mine may actually very quickly outstrip the others. That being said, the others are providing additional benefits, so, you know, there's that too. Okay, well, I'm going to just drop one level into each of these, just so that I get a little bit more of their buff being applied. I wonder what that is. What's up next? Fire Temple, 60k. Very well. Let's get another aqueduct on the go. We've only just got 1 stack of nutritious. Oh, wait. Are you benefiting from the extra... I think you are. I think you in particular are getting the biological blessing. Oh, well, no, specifically I think it's the buff. Which one was it? The one that meant the 2 times more ingredients into the brew. Yeah, so effectively for every harvest you're applying 2 ingredients. So yeah, that would explain why that is going up as quickly as it is. Fair. Right, let's get a level over here, and then I want life force, and then another level there. I want 2 here. Sure, let's go back down the line. Now we've got to get up to 60,000. That's it's quite an ask, I'm going to be honest. But then again, we're already up to 4,000. So I imagine with the living effect and the biological blessing and nutritious, this is going to really start kicking off here. Let's go ahead and get both of those levels. So we'll get starchy increasing. I might not have to do too much upgrading of specific buildings for substance because of that. We'll see. Let's definitely get an extra level on the morale farm though. That is massive. 35 elixir there. Let's see, only 70, so it's twice as effective, but we are getting more starch from that, so, you know, we can't sleep on that one. Let's go ahead and, you know what, I'm going to upgrade 1 extra level into the salt mine, and then we'll just leave that one for now. Let's have a look at how much that's going to be bringing us in. 25 per. That is quite convincing. I imagine the salt mine is quickly going to outstrip the orchard. Right, I would like to pop a couple more upgrades into the morale farms. Let's take this maybe all the way up to 5. That should bring in huge amounts of elixir, which of course is the way that we upgrade the buildings and thus upgrade the speed at which we're developing any of our resources. Starchy. No, well, no, we'll skip over that. I want to get a couple of points into the orchard. The orchard is actually still maintaining its position because of the biological upgrade. That is huge. Maybe I shouldn't have upgraded the salt mine as much as I did. Well, it's done now, and I'm certainly not going to say no to the amount of input from it, but yeah, that biological upgrade was massive for the orchard. I didn't really think about that one. I was mostly thinking about the morel farm and the rice farm, but very, very much a wonderful upgrade on that one. We're up to almost 5,000 elixir per minute already. That is wild. We're going to get the aqueducts, probably 1 level, and then switch over to getting the life force up. We'll just get a little bit more out of our morale farm. Over 6k elixir a minute now, and already up to 9,000 resources. I mean, obviously we need 60k. That's, you know, no slouch on that one, but I imagine as we develop life force, I think it's probably going to be orchard that's really going to kick off here, because there's no reason for me not to be upgrading the hollow and life force and then the orchard and nutrition. These seem like such obvious wins for us, but we're already up to almost 8,000 elixir per minute right now. Do I want a little bit more on the morale farm? 76. Mind you, that's also up to 38. Really, that living effect is can't sleep on that one. But I'll take this one up to 5.5, and then I think I'm just going to focus on the upgrades for the hollow and the orchard. That being said, as before, getting more, like, the more upgrades we have, the more bang for buck we get out of every extra level of a building that benefits from them. So I guess I'll just put a couple in there. I'm not going to worry about the starchy right now. I would rather upgrade the orchard and the hollow instead. But we are bringing in 13k elixir per minute. That is obnoxious and glorious. I wonder if there's any like special upgrades at like level 10. Let's find out. Because quite often you'll have some sort of change at a certain milestone level. There we go. Okay, orchard's, you know, completely popping off, but then, you know, it's a double level to everything else, so that's not too surprising when you think about it. And now we'll switch over to the hollow. Is there anything there? No. Okay, well, that's fine. Right, let's go ahead here. This is a prototype after all, very early in development. Or perhaps just fleshing out some ideas for the next game that Barribob will actually release on Steam. I don't know if there are any plans to release this one on Steam. I did notice that there was a feedback form that you could use to obviously provide any feedback on the game that they would probably then use to refine their ideas. There we go. Up to level 10 on the hollow. Life Force is lagging about behind just a little bit, but shouldn't be terrible. 21k per minute on the elixir production right now, but substance is definitely lagging behind a bit. We want to try and lift that up. Then I'm going to go for life force, and we'll take this all the way up to 10 as well. Something about round numbers. I know they're not the most efficient. I don't care, but this one is actually fitting the orchard, which is the main one that is generating the substance for us. There we go. I think I might actually go to the rice farm after this and upgrade that a couple of levels just to get that starchy on the go. Oh, there is a max level. Ah. All right. So at the very least, the upgrade, the added effect that the brew will apply, sorry, the ingredient will apply to the brew. That definitely has a maximum. Okay. How are we doing with prestige? We're halfway towards another point. Let me just have a look at that. When this bar is full, you gain a prestige point. The bar fills based on the amount of substance gained. Okay, ETA less than 4 minutes on that one now. Let's go ahead and get nutrition all the way up to 10. Yep, that is maxed. All right. Well, now let's go ahead and start upgrading starchy and more rice farms. We're up to 11k per minute now on substance, so we've only got 2 minutes before we can get the fire temple. Will that summon the Fire Nation? We will have to wait and see. But we're at 48k a minute elixir production. That is amazing. Though it is costing us, it is like 8k per elixir right now, so there's something to be said about that, I suppose. Right, let's take this all the way up to 10. Huge numbers over here. I'm seeing some 200s, some 170s. Yeah, 1 more minute left. Well, significantly less than a minute left, actually. Another thing would be kind of interesting is if, whilst these will max out at level 10, that perhaps crossing some sort of total upgrade threshold would result in new upgrades being available. That'd be quite cool, I think. Right, let's go ahead and build the fire temple. We've now got a distillery and a light temple as well. 100k and 1 million. Okay, yeah, that's not happening. Right, fire temple. Elixir gain is 6. We're gaining a benefit from nutritious, of course. More fire temples and fire. The fire temple will apply burning to the brew. Increases the resource production by elemental ingredients. So, oh, this is the counterpoint to life force then. All right, very much on board with this. That's going to affect our aqueduct and the salt mine. It won't affect the hollow, though. The hollow is magical. but I am okay with this. Let's continue to build that up. We're probably going to see the substance now starting to really kick off. There we are. So that 100k seems actually a lot closer. We've got one level now, 13 minutes on the next. And what are the other things that we could go for? We've got to get 4 points spent here. Then I would say oh right, so this one only counts these. So maybe we could see if we can get to 2. Maybe upgrade elemental and then possibly put another one in abundant harvest. That one seems like that's so powerful. It is really hard to say no to that. All right, let's have a look at how this is. Okay, final substance gain now on the salt mines is 62. On the aqueduct, it's 38. Okay, the aqueduct is a little bit behind, but that one is also helping with the morale farm and getting more elixir. But orchard is just, you know, crazy high now. I can't see anything else like 10 times as good. Well, okay, a bit less than 10 times as good as the hollow, but still. Right, let's get this up to level 4. What are they actually doing? Are they in cages? Are they slaves? I mean, they look like fancy cages. But is a gilded cage anything more than a cage? I mean, yes, it is. It's a gilded cage. It's in the name, Aavak. But still, it's a cage. Either way, though, this, I can't imagine that's going to do a whole lot because it's not getting the biological benefits, but still. 18k per level now on the elixir. That's a bit of a rough one, to be fair. Okay. Maybe drop a couple of levels into the rice farm then. Let's get Starship. Like we're getting quite a lot out of that, actually. To be fair, we are getting a lot. That being said, as well, I could just pop more points into the morale farm, and considering this is giving me like the 300 elixir per minute, per 6 seconds, yeah, let's pop another 5 levels in here. We are not far off, like 1 minute, and we'll be able to get the distillery, which will be an interesting one. So I'm assuming it's just going to make, well, and what are we going to be distilling? Is it just going to be an overall multiplier for the stats? I mean, that would make sense. We're distilling the brew. We're making it more pure. There we go. Every level on the morale farm is such bang for buck right now. Right, there we go. Let's get you on the go. And oh. I don't know what else I was expecting, really. Okay. Right, distillation. Distillation multiplier, salt distillation. Distillation can be performed on ingredients from the salt mine. That's 30k. We'll have that in a minute. Distill compounds, 6 milliliters. Morale, rice, upgrade distillery. Distillation multipliers will decay 30% slower. That's huge. Anything which slows down the decay of our modifiers is very, very big. I would like to pop another 2 points in there, though. Let's get that nice and tall. Look at my brewing empire. Fantastic. There's only room for one more upgrade, though. I guess that, yeah, the light temple, so 1,000,000 points. All right, let's get the salt distillery. Oh, it's adding more as we go. Now there's an orchard distillery as well. Okay, distillation multiplier. Everything is getting it, though. Shadow distillation. Gain from the distillation of ingredients. Okay, so I guess everything distills into shadow. But the total multiplier, 1.08. How long have we got? 8 minutes. That's a bit long for me, if I'm perfectly honest. But we've got enough points to upgrade a couple more things, though. And I'm interested in seeing where that will go before we prestige. We'll pop a couple of points into the rice farm. But realistically, getting the salt up would make probably more sense ultimately, as well as the fact that I can increase the amount of ingredients. Like, is it the every harvest of the salt mine, or is it the amount coming from the salt mine is a question. I guess maybe upgrading both would be worth it, since that's the first one that we got. Morale distillation is going to be absolutely bonkers once we get to it. But we're already up to... Is there anywhere on here that it shows it to us? No. That's a bit of a shame. But we're already up to 1.19, so we're almost getting a fifth extra resources out of everything. And the salt mine is buffing everything as a consequence. So this actually really does make sense to be upgrading this one quite heavily. Up to 118k elixir per minute, but it's costing 36k per level, or level 98. For 50k substance per minute, which is actually quite nice. But if we have a look over here, yeah, 1.2. That's very, very nice indeed. Let's continue to increase the amount of salt. And we are almost at the amount to start distilling morels. In fact, we can, and I can only assume that's going to be bonkers. Total multiplier going up sharply. Excellent to see. At 124, or were for very briefly there. The next one is going to require 200k. I'm not sure we're going to be there for that. Well, yes, we will. We will be here for that. Oh, no, that's 3 minutes. Sorry, that would take me 4. My bad. I can count. I swear I can. I sometimes when the stars align. 132k now on the elixir. Elixir is definitely way more productive than substance, but I guess substance unlocks far more, kind of high upfront cost items, but then doesn't really do anything beyond that. We're not using substance to upgrade the buildings. It's all about the elixir at that point. I'm gonna evenly upgrade the salt mine as we go. Although that being said, I mean the morale is 260 versus 480. Will it tell me how much I'm getting from this? It doesn't really tell me how much I'm getting from it, but I'm getting half as much output from, like the way I'm reading that, I would get half as much from distilling a morale than distilling salt for some reason. Don't ask me why, I'm not a witch. There we go. We'll just finish off the salt mine and very near, in fact, 75k per minute. Yeah, it's a minute before we prestige again. Wow, we've already gone for 2. It feels like I've been playing for 5 minutes. I just looked over at the recording timer. We've been doing this for 3/4 of an hour almost. That is wild. I think it's the lo-fi beat. It just makes time wibbly wobbly. And also, number go up. Number go up. Very, very well documented effect is that time goes wibbly wobbly. Okay, one more level. But we might actually get that one unlocked. We're so close. We're so close, I may as well. Actually, considering I really should, because we keep the upgrades, do we not? Let's go ahead and add rice distillation into this. And hopefully that will continue with us. Now that was just vanity, really. All right. Well, I think time for us to go ahead. It would take 24 minutes to get the next one, but we are instead going to prestige. Right. Oh, it's not spent. It's unlocked. Enhanced morels. Morale farm gains an upgrade that increases its elixir gain. Good. It doesn't need one. The attack aqueduct buff will also enrich the rice farm and the orchard. Yes, that's an obvious one. Effects will decay 2 times slow. No, this one is good, but we obviously have to put a point in there. I'm sorry, Elemental. I'm leaving you behind. I know I'm so bad. But we have got distillation kept with us. That is fantastic. Okay. Well, first things first, buy a level in everything so that we start building it up. And now it's going to decay half as fast, which is going to be huge for us. There we go. We need 1 million to get the light temple. Are we going to be able to get it on this run? I am really not sure. We will see. I've got one there, one there, one there, one there, none here. Let's go ahead and pop a point in there. All right, at this point, aqueduct, want you to level up a bit more because you're going to be buffing all of my biologicals, which is absolutely fantastic. Get an extra level there. Now let's actually enhance, get some levels on them. So one for the morale farm, since that one's, how much does that increase? Increase the elixir gain from morale farms by 30%. That's already bonkers, but we'll wait until that's a higher number before I start investing in that, I think. There we go. The double ingredient harvest from the rice farm is big. It's big out of the gate. There we go. That one can upgrade a lot. But then we'll start getting the orchard up. Orchard's already at peaking, although aqueduct is starting to catch up just ever so slightly. But at the moment we start upgrading the hollow, that will all go away more or less. But let's get a couple of levels of the various buffs going. We'll do the same with the aqueduct just to get 3 on those. We'll get the same over here with the life force, and we'll work on the fire temple. We're already over 1,000 per minute for substance, which is quite nice. One thing that would be nice is if you had a timer for the run, so you could see how long since your last prestige, so that you could better gauge how much faster your production is ramping up. That would be useful. That's a common feature in incremental games where the prestiging is this frequent. Obviously, if it's more of an idle incremental, then prestiging might happen like, very quickly get to the point where it's like you prestige once a day or something like that, where it stops really being something that you can easily track. All right, let's get lots of levels in life force. That's what we like seeing going on over there. I'll probably completely max out life force, then get another 2 levels in the hollow. There we go. Very, very nice indeed. Up to needing 1,000 elixir per brew. 5 is good. Right. Nutrition is the one that I next want to fully max out. Let's get nutrition right up there. And then get another 2 levels in orchard. Then probably do the aqueduct. And then we're really going to start investing into morels. How are we doing? 1.2 gain there. That's not bad at all. I want to see how big these numbers get now that their decay rate has been halved. That's probably going to be the next one I put a point in. Definitely. And then the next one after that will either be elemental or abundant. I feel like elemental would make a lot of sense though, because again, this is, getting the next temple is 1 million substance. It's going to take a while if I don't actually put some upgrades into it, All right, let's get this all the way up. Hopefully by the time that I've done all of these upgrades, our morals will be at a point where investing in their 30% more elixir upgrade will be really worth it for us. That said, because this affects the elixir specifically, and not the amount of product, we're not going to get more distillation out of it, which is a bit of a shame. That would have been very, very nice. Very cheeky, but very nice. Up to 120% elixir from this. That is absolutely popping off. Up to 600 odd now. I'm going to level these up in tandem because, again, this is contributing to us getting more distilling going. These ones, not so much. We've got rice. It looks like we're probably going to just go through these in order. I wonder how many levels. I'm very curious if that can level up to 10 or beyond. Where's the cap there? We're at 102k per minute. Yeah, it is 10. Okay, fair enough. But that is still giving us 300% elixir return. Nonsense numbers. Glorious nonsense, but nonsense all the same. Well, given that then, I'm going to just do exactly the same with the rice farms. Let's get starchy all the way up. And then push the rice farms up to level 10 or so. We're up to 30k a minute. That's going very quickly. But, like, again, elixir is just absolutely dominating the numbers. As it should. Did we finish that one? Yeah, we did. Another 5 levels in the aqueduct wouldn't go amiss because it does benefit all of these. The enrich buff is kind of nice. I mean, that being said, that one's only a flat buff. Same with nutritious, whereas the living effect is a percentage, which, as you can imagine, very good. So maybe instead we pop more points into hollows. We really push that one up. Orchard will be the main driver for our substance production, though, because it's getting all of the buffs from the biological upgrades. That being said, if I can get a couple of levels in the salt mine, wouldn't be a terrible one. It's an interesting choice to have the effects, sort of the upgrades, always cost 1 elixir. Because it doesn't matter which building I'm upgrading, it always costs the same amount. The cost is always increasing at the same pace. But that means that I could have one building massively upgraded and ignore other buildings. If that was the right strategy, I really don't know if it is. It usually takes me several playthroughs of an incremental to start getting a feel for where that kind of balance is, whether having a highly specialized industry is better than having several balanced industries. But we know that this will cap out at about 10. I don't think this is going to be able to make this compete, honestly. Yeah, this is in the thousands. But what this can do is help us get more distillation on the go. That being said, getting orchard distillation is pretty nice. Sure, let's go ahead and pop that in. Oh, elemental distillation? Okay. All right, so that will also distill from the fire. Okay, I wasn't expecting that upgrade, to be honest. I very much like it. Let's just pop 1 extra into this. I mean, you know, it's okay. But it's not fantabulous. Everything over there is 5s. The aqueduct. Sure, we'll pop a couple more levels into you. Get that enrichment going. We're already up to 300,000 again, like 261,000 a minute now. This is going exceedingly well. How are we doing for... We're actually really far away from another prestige point, regardless, though. Fair enough. It's going to take us a while to get to that. And 1 more. I'm sorry, I know if I just saved them up, then you could do multiple levels in 1 trip. However, I'm eking out seconds worth of extra productivity by making you have to fly back and forth. I apologize, but at least the Witch's Broom doesn't use fossil fuels to move. Or at least I assume it doesn't use fossil fuels to move. So, you know, this isn't wasteful in an environmental sense. Now we're already up at the 5. There we are. I could upgrade the distillery. Yes. Let's get that so these decay way slower. That is much more valuable to me than getting elemental distillation. I mean, obviously we want it, but this not decaying, that is really going to help. Yeah, we're up to 349k. We should be able to get the light temple relatively soon. There we go. Like, what are the numbers looking like right now? Yes, the numbers look like yes. I'm all right with this. In terms of what you're providing, though, I mean, the burning effect is nice. Sure, we'll take this up to 10 as well. But then I think we're probably going to go back to Morel and Orchard, if I'm honest. Mind you, Rice Farm is doing some work there. That is no slouch because of the double ingredients. Like, that's adding 60 to every elemental harvest. That is bonkers. There we go. And as soon as that crashed, sure. Magical distillation, really? Okay. Oh, the light temple is going to be magical. Okay, that makes sense. A bit of a spoiler game. Come on now. I might have been excited to find that out. Rude. We're getting 1 million elixir per minute now. All right, it'll be about 2 minutes before we can get the light temple. And how long until we get the next? About 2 minutes on that as well. Okay, so that all kind of works out ultimately. Let's pop some more points into the morale farm though. Let's push this up even further. I wonder what upgrades the light temple is going to offer us though. I guess probably something leaning into... well, since it... But the looks of it, it's the last structure. I don't think we're going to have much use for substance beyond then, other than prestige. So I guess it would be something for magical? Either that or elixir, but magical hasn't really had much love, I feel. So I wouldn't mind magical getting a little bit of a look in there. All right, there we go. We're up to 15 now on the morale farm. I guess, you know, playing this, you could just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. You know, see how tall you can make the towers. We've got our point in prestige. We're a little ways off from the temple, but we'll be there very quickly, I think. Also, how are we doing that? Oh. Soul distillation. Okay. But what does soul distillation do? All right, it's a separate resource. I wasn't expecting that. But we can now build the light temple, so let's get that one on the go. What are we going to get? Congrats! You've restored all of the ruins in 1 hour and 3 minutes. That's all of the content for this prototype for now, but feel free to continue playing. I was expecting all kinds of shenanigans. Oh, there it is, actually. Okay. There are more shenanigans. Thank you, Barribob. Thank you very much for not just kicking me out of the game. Appreciate it. Okay, we'll have a quick look at all of the different upgrades, but yeah, I guess this is the end of the video. A nice hour-long video. Not too bad, not too bad. Well, actually, is it an hour though? I've only been recording for 57 minutes. Barribob, it's the game ability to count. I was sat in the main menu, I guess. Maybe it was counting that. Right, more light temples. Build another light temple. Okay, and purification. The light temple will apply purified to the brew. Increases the amount of distilled compounds from biological ingredients by 1 milliliter per stack. Oh, improves the distillation, but it's expensive though. 2 per? That's a bit of an ask. All right. Oh, we're not waiting 13 minutes, but I would like to get some more light temples just to see how this building upgrades itself. Okay, is there going to be I mean, there's a very repeating pattern. So I'm going to assume it's going to look very similar. But let's go ahead and take it up to the point where it starts repeating. Look, okay. I'm enjoying the game and I'm really enjoying the music. So I am one more turning. I realize what I'm doing. I'm doing it. You realize what I'm doing. You're hopefully okay with me doing it. I don't know. I think if you've gotten this far into the video, I'm going to assume you're enjoying what we're doing. But I think that is probably going to be, yeah, it just continues in that pattern. All right, well, that's actually quite cool. And at that point, we could prestige one last time just for the sake of doing it. And yeah, look, okay, I'm an Aavak of the people. Let it not be said that I do not apply the bounties of our kingdom equally. But that is going to be it. I hope you have enjoyed this look into Overbrew. Again, if you're interested in playing it for yourself, go ahead and check it out over on itch.io. Links in the video description down below. And while you're down there, if you enjoyed the video and you'd like to see more videos like this, then consider massaging those lovely buttons. But that is going to be it from me. So until next time, do take care, everyone.